Okay, so I've made the decision that after filming the intro already, I made way too many mistakes speaking and filming this multiple times as well. Too many mistakes have happened. So what we're actually gonna do is make this entire video a voiceover so that I just have as many chances to make mistakes as needed. But this is Isolation Station episode 2 for quarantine activities, and today we are doing tooth gems. So this is gonna be entirely a voiceover, but I do just wanna say, shop with Authentique. It's a black-owned business. They have great products. Everything is packaged well. You can get in touch with the owner very easily if you want special accommodations or anything like that. And the entire experience was great. I already had one of these. I've already done tooth gems on multiple of my friends, and I do advertising for them. So like I have applied it to Ruth's teeth, Key's teeth, Trey's teeth. They're an amazing brand and I really recommend them. So I'll be leaving the link in the description box, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Okay, you guys, so the first thing we're going to do is unbox the package. I'm not going to show the whole unboxing because it's kind of repetitive with the way you're supposed to set up your area and the unboxing, but I did want to talk about the LED light real quick. So with the LED light, you want to make sure that it's charged first of all before you even start the process, because it's really extremely frustrating to have to charge it in the middle, which is what I ended up having to do because I forgot to charge it. But you want to set it up where you have the UV light protector on there so that you can make sure that even though you have the glasses that protect your eyes, you're also not looking at it in the mirror or anything like that, or anybody around you. So putting that on there and just setting it up to begin with, reading the instructions so you understand how to use it, and then you're going to go ahead and set up your area. So you're going to want to have a clean tray out, just something that you can sit all of your stuff out on so you have everything laid out and everything is within your reach, because the process does not take long. However, it's good to get everything like going back to back so that it happens pretty quickly. So the first thing you're going to do is put your gloves on. As far as your area, you're going to have a mirror, and then you're going to want to have petroleum jelly or shea butter or something like that. Anything that you can use to have the micro applicator adhere to the tooth gem when you pick it up to put it on your teeth. They give you goggles to protect you from the light from the LED light, and then the LED light itself, of course. So you're going to have both of those set out a little bit to the side because you're not going to be using them until the end. And then you're going to want to have your lip retractor as well. That set out onto like a clean napkin. You're going to make sure the entire tray is disinfected because all of this is going to be going in your mouth, of course. And I mean, come on. So the lip retractor is what's going to pull your lips back to make sure that your lips aren't hanging over the teeth while you're trying to apply the tooth gems. And then you have your Flow composite, and it comes with tips. They're going to give you multiple tips so that you can do this multiple times. The tube itself, you're only using a dot on each tooth. So the tube, I would honestly say, I don't even know how long you could use this because I have not even come close to running out, and I've been using mine for like a minute. They also give you the etch with the tip as well, so you're just going to replace the tops that are on them with the tips that they give you. Definitely save the tops though, so that you can replace them after you're done with the tips and throw those tips away for the next time you want to do new gems or gems on somebody else. Next, you have your micro applicators. You're going to want to get a few of those out and put those to the side, and your cotton rolls. Even though you have the lip retractors, the cotton rolls are what's going to help you to dry the tooth itself because there's going to be so much saliva. You want to make sure that you are able to get the tooth as dry as possible before you put the etch on and before you put the Flow composite on. And then those are the actual gems. And you want to set a few of those out with the gem part facing upwards because that's how you're going to want to pick it up with the applicator so that you can put it directly on the Flow composite. And lastly, you have your dental bib and your dental clip. And that's what's going to catch the unbelievable amounts of drool that are going to be coming from your mouth. Please be prepared for that. it can be a little bit shocking because I'm sure you just don't realize how much you do salivate because it's constantly like not falling out of your mouth. But there's going to be a lot of drool coming out. It's all going to get caught by the dental bib, so don't worry about it. But you do want to make sure that you have it close up to your chin just so that it's not falling on your clothes or anything and distracting you during the process. So I put it on that way, and then I will pull it up so that it's pulled back right under my chin. Also, you want to make sure that your hair is out of your face and you kind of just don't have anything near your mouth or around your mouth so that you have a clear space to work with. You have clear sight. Just everything is in its place before you start this process. So you're going to want to put your lip retractor in to begin. There's a longer side and a shorter side. You're going to want to make sure that the longer side is facing you, and that's the part that's going to go into your mouth. Make sure it's snug in there so that it doesn't pop out or anything. Pull your dental bib back so that you can catch all the drool. And then you're going to want to go ahead and start. So I like to start by going ahead and making sure my teeth are as dry as possible, whichever ones I'm going to put it on. I'm going to be applying it to 2 gems in this. You can just do one at a time to begin with if that's more comfortable for you. However, I will say that just with how easy the process is, it's not a big deal to do 2 to start. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and dry that tooth off with a cotton roll just to make sure it's as dry as possible. So I just want to make sure that I'm soaking all that up, and I even put the cotton roll in my bottom lip to get all the drool that was already starting to collect right before I want to put on the edge. So with the edge is what's going to make your tooth dry. It's going to make a little circle like of white so that you can have an area where you can apply the dental, the composite flow, and that is what's going to be cured by the light, and that's what's going to keep the tooth gem on your tooth. So this is probably the most crucial part, that your tooth is as dry as possible when you put on the edge. So there I am, drying my tooth again, just to make sure. And you're going to put a little dollop of the etch onto your tooth wherever you think you want the gem to go. I like to make it a little bit bigger than the size of the gem, just so that I can either change sizes if I want to, put multiple there if I want to, or just being able to move it around and make sure that I'm like not confined to one tiny, tiny, tiny circle. And if you are doing 2, you can go ahead and apply it to both sides to begin with. You're going to wait about 20 to 30 seconds so that you can make sure that you have it done correctly. And you're going to know that is correct when there is a frosty white circle on your tooth. So you're going to see that the part that you applied the edge to is a little bit different in color than the rest of the tooth, and that's when you know that you've done it correctly. And if you did not do it correctly, you can just go ahead and do it again, wait the 20 seconds again, and it's fine. So you're going to want to take it off with a cotton roll, pushing the cotton roll upwards, pushing the cotton roll upwards so that you make sure that the edge is off your tooth completely. You don't want to get it in your gums or anything like that. So after that's wiped off, you can kind of see that white patch that's in each of my canines on the bottom. That's what you want it to look like. After you figure out if that's exactly where you want them, you can go ahead and dry the tooth out again, and now we're going to go in with the Flow Composite. So this is what is going to go onto the tooth right before you put the gem on, and this is what the LED light is going to be curing so that it hardens and the tooth gem can stay for a very long time. And with this one, you don't want to put as big as a dot as you did with the edge, but you do want to make sure that you have enough room to cover all sides of the tooth gem. You're going to grab a little bit of the Vaseline, probably just like the amount of Vaseline that's on the sides, a very thin layer, just enough so that the gem will stick to the tip of the micro applicator brush. And you want to make sure it's really stuck on there so that when you pick the gem up, it doesn't fall into your lap or something. And this is also why they give you so many gems, so that if you do make a mistake, you can always go back. Now you're going to want to pop it on there. And mind you, I have very shaky hands. This is probably the toughest part for me, but it's definitely not impossible, because you're able to move it around so easily with the micro applicator brush. I like to make sure that it's centered on my tooth because that's where I wanted it. But you just want to make sure it's wherever you actually want it to be, before you go ahead and cure it, because it will be stuck on there after that. Now you're going to want to put on your protective goggles. Put on the protective shield on the actual curing light, and you're going to want to put it on for the 20-second timer, because that's all you need. And then you're going to do it in multiple different directions. I probably do this a little bit overkill because I like to make sure mine are extremely cured so that they stay for the full 6 months. But you're going to want to do it in each direction, the front, left, right, top, bottom, all different angles, so that you can make sure that it's as cured as possible. The LED light is going to feel a little bit warm. That's supposed to be the case. And after you're done with that, you're finished. But we're going to go over that one more time because I am doing 2. So I did want to go ahead and explain it again. So again, you're going to want to dry the tooth even after you've put the etch on, especially if you're doing 2. Because again, just with everything that's going on, things get a little stressful. And I know that your tongue is probably going to want to touch the back of the tooth that you've already done. So you want to again dry that tooth and apply your Flow Composite in a small dot. Oh, and another thing here. This is how big it is. First of all, you can barely see it because it's the same color as the tooth, so don't worry about discoloration or anything like that. But I like to squeeze out a little bit so I know that there's no air pockets, because if there is an air pocket, sometimes it'll squirt out in areas that you don't want it to be. So again, adding the Vaseline to the tip of the micro brush, just a little bit, picking up that gem and putting it right in the center of the Flow Composite. And once you put it on there, you're going to want to move it around in a little circle so that you can get it around all the edges. So that's me adjusting it and making sure it's even with the one on my other tooth, as well as getting the Flow Composite on all sides of the gem to make sure it stays down. This is what's going to let you know that this is going to stay for a long time. This is how you end up keeping the gems for a long time, is by having all sides covered with the Flow Composite and having the tooth as dry as possible when you apply them. And again, there's no time limit once you put the Flow Composite on. Nothing is set in stone until you use the LED light. That's when you're like done. But once you're like just applying the gem onto the tooth, you have as much time to adjust it as needed. So don't feel rushed or don't feel just like nervous, because that's when you start to mess up. So again, we're doing the 20 seconds and we're going to go around each angle of the tooth. And I did this for about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So I went around maybe like 2 times just to make sure that it's all completely cured. That's me pushing them to make sure they're stuck on there. And they definitely are. And this has been a few days later, and of course I've had no issues at all. The only thing I would say is not to eat for about 30 minutes to an hour after you apply them, just to make sure that they're completely stuck on there. Don't brush your teeth for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then after that you're good. And these remain for 3 to 6 months depending on the way you applied them. So again, making sure that it's dry, making sure that you cure it from all angles, making sure that all the sides of the gem are covered is what's going to cause these to last longer. Okay, so I know the filter's a little weird, but I just want you to see the gems. They're on there, snuggle, lug, and a rub. That's all it takes. Takes a very small amount of time. It's really easy. Let me know if you have any questions about how to apply them, and make sure that if you do get them, that you shop with Authentique. I'll leave the link in the description box, and if you try them, hashtag TV is bad, hashtag Authentique. They will post you on their page. And yeah, this is a fun little quarantine activity. now you have tooth gems. And they also do have custom gems that you can DM their page on Facebook about, and you can see any of them. They have eyes, they have money signs, lightning bolts, hearts, stars, moons, anything like that. So yeah, let me know if you guys tried out, and that's the end. So this was Isolation Station episode 2, and I hope you enjoyed.